which is Peter Sagner from Green City Solutions. So let me just bring you on screen, Peter, and thank Thomas again for that excellent presentation. Let me just take you up. Lovely. Over to you, Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much that I am allowed to speak here. So my name is Peter. I'm a horticulturist and I co-founded Green City Solutions to help out our city development for the future, to make it more green, more health and resilient. And we, of course, heard a lot about air pollution indeed, but I just want to sum it up that we have 95% of all the city dwellers that are suffering from bad air. And this is, of course, stressing the climate, the city climate, but also causing significant social costs and also deserted the cityscape. And we heard a lot about the sources, and of course, also from vehicles and industry, we have pollutants, but maybe also to take in consideration that the climate change is also causing some new events like the wildfires, for example, we have seen in Europe and also here in Germany as well. So that's why we are thinking on how we can abate this. And as I said, I am a horticulturist and I would love to see much more viable trees and plants in our cities. But the problem is that we don't have the space for it to integrate them and for a long run. And that's why I brought a picture like this with you. It's in summertime, and I obviously would think that this tree should have at least one leaf, but it doesn't. And this is something that we can see much more in the cities. And that's why I think we have to think also in new ways on how to bring green infrastructure into cities. That's why we are working with moss, and it's a small plant. And I am sure that you all aware about where to find moss. It's mostly in nature side, in the forests, and maybe you wouldn't like it in your grass at home, but it has a huge potential on many things we have challenges with. And I would like to explain this a bit more. So specialized moss, as we grow it, has 20 to 30 times larger leaf surface. And that's why you have a huge amount of green biomass that can attract, for example, particulate matter, but also bacteria and viruses. The magic is that the moss is able to eat up these pollutions. So you don't have this waste, what we also have seen in another presentation in the end. And as an active, livable organism, it's taken this as a most sustainable way. And also being anti-static, negatively charged, it can attract and hold all these particles you don't want to see in the air as well. So as you can see it here, that looks like when moss has eaten air pollution, you can see the black carbon particles. These are the black ones coming from soot or from fossil burn, but also the salts you can see here with this white crystal-like particles. And the difference towards conventional green, like a leaf from a tree, is that moss can survive this stress of much pollution without dying from it. And that's why it's a very good organism to work with. And as we didn't invent it, it was done by nature over 450 million years ago, but we are learning it to use it in the best way, especially in the urban context. And so that's not me alone, it's a team of very engaged people that are working with moss in our laboratory, but also in the farm. And we are learning much more with the work with the moss in how to use it. And here you can see our farm. So we are cultivating moss because this is the species we use in the biofiltration. And this is how it looks like when it comes to more than 100,000 of these moss mats. But the moss alone is not the key. We also need some more technology to support the moss, especially in a context where it's getting very stressed. And this can be an example here that we combine it with IoT technology. So the Internet of Things help us to control and to get more precise data around the moss, the performance and the vitality. And these two things together enable us to get a very fundamental research-based explanation on the performance of moss within a moss module, as we call it. And you can see it here. We have a findus binding that is not comparable with a HEPA filter in 99%, of course, but we have also 80 to 90%, and we have this digestion that you can reuse this filter again and again, which makes it much more sustainable. And besides all this research we did and proceeded with the institutes you can see on the right-hand side, we figured that there is also at the same moment a huge cooling effect coming from the moss. So just imagine that the harmful air is getting into the moss and it will be attracted by the big surface, and on the other side, water molecules getting emitted into the outside. That helps also to cool down situations and locations that are maybe hidden by heat island effects. And all this together also brings us to a CO2 compensation that makes this use of this biofiltration as the most sustainable. And as you can read it here, up to 36 sensors can control the moss and also giving a live performance data, which I want to explain a bit more indeed, because it's very important to also communicate what's happening. And that's why we are also created a platform that's called AirCare. And this is the data monitoring live in real time. So you can see the pollution levels, you can see the reduction levels, you can compare it with fine dust, but also nitrous oxides. You have the temperature, you have also the humidity and the climate conditions. And all this together can be shown as a very valid data set that also can understand by people that are not the experts in air pollution. And that can be shown directly on the products, but also in your handheld or in the laptop. And based on that, so the software and the moss cubes itself, we have several products that can be seen here. So the City Tree is our sustainability champion, contains 8 of these moss modules and has the ability to clean the air for besides 10,000 people per hour. So this is used for, of course, city councils, communities, but also quarters and also schools and kindergartens to build room to make it much more livable on sites where you can't find so much green at all and where we have a very concrete situation. Based on that product, we also have developed the City Breeze. As you can see it here, it's a bit more technical and it contains an LED screen that enables also the digitalization. So we have a lot of these screens already in our cities. And I'm aware that it's not the best tool for the cities to help to cool down because they also emit heat, especially in summer times. That's why we thought it would be an interesting fact to combine moss and this digital platform and make it much more cooler. So the moss on the one side has the ability to reduce the heat effect of such a screen 100% and also cooling up to 20 to 30% at all. And last but not least, this is the latest product we have is the Wall Breeze, and as it also assumes, that comes in when we talk about infrastructure integration or regreening of existing buildings or walls and facades. And all these three products shall allow us to bring as much as possible moss into our inner cities, that we are able to breathe clean air also in the future and cool down the heat islands. And to show how the effectiveness can be also be seen is that one City Tree has a cooling power of about 6,500 watts. And that relates to 75 of new planted trees as you would plant them with the age of 8 to 10 years, or also 3 adult trees. Problem is here that we can't wait also another 40 years of getting the whole capacity of an adult tree, as also they are getting very sick sometimes. That's why we need both. We are not against trees, of course, definitely not, but we are looking for the right symbiosis and especially for the right solution for the several locations. So it's also very interesting and good to use both at the same place. And here is a little presentation for a project we did with Hammersmith and Fulham for the climate action together. So this is a very crowded place where you can't plant trees. And that's why we are quite happy that the inhabitants are using it as their day where they are consuming their lunch together, for example, and we are supporting this community to reach their goals. As we also heard about, it's about inequalities. It's about how to get the best possible health, well-being, and quality of life for all our residents, for all the residents there. And this is our mission, to help also the communities and the decision makers with this tool of air filter and cooler. Very important for us is this scientific basis, and that's why we are always keen to show the data behind. And as you can see it here, this comes also from a project in Hammersmith that shows from the red line, this is the basis of the thresholds, and the green line would be without our product, and the blue line is with the use of the city tree there. And as you can see, with the use, we are under the limits all the time, and that's why we also have the chance to guarantee, in a way, cleaner air that's also more health to breathe. Okay, besides that, we also have this temperature increase, and we have seen last year in July that we hit 38.3 degrees Celsius at Lyric Square, so in the middle of London. And this is crazy because it looks like that it's tending more and more into this heat days and nights as well, and therefore it's also very important to think about how we can also cool. And during the project, we have a very stable cooling capacity of approximately 4 degrees Celsius. Just to line this up with some pictures, so you can use, of course, not just one, but more than one city tree to create kind of fresh air bubbles that also helping communities to find a way to show a spot where people are there, or where they want to be there when they are crossing the streets in the city. So just to sum it up, one clean air zone containing of 3 city trees, for example, can be effective than about 200 new planted urban trees, and can also compensate the dust coming from 160,000 cigarettes or 450,000 kilometers car ride, and also help people, about 26,000 people, that breathe from that in amount of volume that we are cooling and cleaning. Stopping here with the city tree and going to the city breeze as the green meets screen thing. Here you can see as well that the moss is inside this product, and on the other side you can have this for green messaging, but also promotions and wayfindings, especially environmental data, or also to finding ways and managing traffic. And this combination can be also used in inner cities, but also in front of buildings. And of course, it can be also being an educating and communication tool that is used in 25 times during all Europe currently. And we are looking for the next upcoming projects with that kind of product. Here you can see also in a shopping center, so it's working indoors as well. And that's what we also like to show you, is that it's also a kind of a furniture that should be used by people, but pupils. So all the people who are working on and walking in a shopping center, and yeah, that helps to create more livable spaces as well indoors. And last but not least, we come with the wall breeze. On the right hand side, you can see it. Maybe this wall can be sprayed with graffiti as well, but we thought it's better to integrate a green infrastructure that is, especially for limited spaces, very convenient. Here you can see it under the tram. Can be also integrated through walls, in walls, before walls, but also on housings. And that enables us a modular design. So when you are looking for something that is not a room builder, then it's maybe easier to use a wall breeze, and then you can put it side by side and creating a green corridor through our cities. And we as Green City Solutions hope that we can help with that by providing this kind of tool. And I'm very happy, and thank you for your attention. I'm looking forward to get in touch with you. You can see here my contacts, and as we are already active in the UK, I think, of course, it could be also valid and useful for you to meet up in person. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Peter. I mean, I've got so many thoughts that I want to give, but I'm going to save them. I'm going to finish off with Peter Lilly, if you don't mind, Peter. I know we're running out of time a little bit, but let's just finish off with the green clean air framework, should I say, which I know people have been really interested to hear about. And then if we can save maybe 5 minutes just for a quick Q&A, just a wrap-up session, Peter, that'd be perfect. But thank you for Peter from Green City Solutions. Brilliant technology, brilliant innovation, great use of nature. Thank you.